DirtTraxtv is sponsored by Polaris, think outside. Can-Am, follow your path. Yamaha's proven off-road side-by-sides and ATVs, realize your adventure. Team MSC, when you just gotta have the best. Honda Power Sports, power your dreams, whatever the terrain.
One thing people don't really know about DirtTrax is that it's actually owned by 4 partners, and myself and AJ are 2 of them. Anybody who watches the show knows Mike. He's the 3rd partner, and then Mike's brother Matt. So Matt and Mike are AJ's and my cousins, and we get along great. We have a great time in this business. We enjoy ourselves a lot. But one thing we've never done after almost 20 years of being in business together is do a trip, just the 4 of us. We have never done that. So when the opportunity came up to head to Hatfield-McCoy, basically do an arrive and ride type trip where we don't drive or bring our own vehicles, we just fly in, we jumped on it right away. Flew right into the Charleston airport and rented a car, and then we drove about an hour and a half, it wasn't very far, to what I'm gonna say is one of the best locations I've ever been to at Hatfield-McCoy. The place itself is called the Appalachian Outpost, and it is absolutely amazing. So the Appalachian Outpost is what I would call Hatfield-McCoy's most all-inclusive lodging, perfect for doing a trip like this, because when you arrive, first of all, the location is right off the highway. It's so easy to get to, you almost can't get lost getting there. But when you arrive, you'll see that it has a BP gas station with a fully stocked variety store. It's got its own restaurant, cafe, laundromat, outfitter store. There's a rental company for side-by-sides right there. And of course, it's got incredible cabins, 3-bedroom air-conditioned cabins for us to stay in.
So it was a shopping mall here. It had been shut down for about 20 years, so it was just empty space. So we got the property because they built this connector, a 4-lane to go from Logan to Man. So it went from 20-30 minutes to get here to it's 6 miles from Logan and 4 miles from Man. So it's kind of right in the middle. And then Hatfield-McCoy, the main office is here on property too. So it just kind of was a good fit. And then started, kind of just had a plan. We had a plan of 35 cabins. Right now we have 27. We had known that we wanted to do a bar and grill for our local area. And then it just kind of fit once we started putting in the cabins. And then the gas station came, and then now we have a store and a coffee shop and a conference center. We just keep adding. So trying to make it a one-stop shop. So once you get here, you don't have to leave unless you want to.
Now, one of the things the Appalachian Outpost has been sort of catering towards recently is like corporate events. So they actually built an entire boardroom kind of thing for people. If you want to have a corporate event there, you can go and rent the boardroom and rent the cabins. Our business is small. There's only 4 partners. So when we get together for a meeting, we really don't need a whole boardroom, but it was there. And so we thought, why don't we do a business meeting and discuss some really important topics, just the 4 of us in a giant boardroom.
So anyway, like I was saying, I think we definitely need significantly more. Significantly more.
Like how much more?
Like significantly more, but at the bare minimum, like 30% more cowbell.
Okay, so if we are deciding on cowbell, that means it's time to get out of here and go ride our ATVs.
We have solved the world's problems. Woo! 2026 Dirt Trax. It's gonna be good.
This portion of DirtTraxtv has been brought to you by MBRP Performance Exhaust, built for the victory lap.
So as I mentioned before, right on site at the Appalachian Outpost is a side-by-side rental outfit. It's called Backcountry Rentals. It's run by a woman named Amber, and it's so convenient because it's literally right on the same property. Amber will deliver your side-by-sides that you rent right to your cabin for you in the morning of the day you're gonna go riding.
The great thing about staying here is we deliver them straight to your cabin. Free helmet rentals, bring the paperwork up so you never even have to, come down to the shop. You just walk outside, sign everything, and you're good to go. Whenever you come and rent, if you're not comfortable, we're more than happy to take you, 2-3 miles out on the trail, let you drive to make sure that you are 100% comfortable with that machine. Everybody has my phone number, and I tell every customer, if you have any questions, text or call me. I'm here all day. I can come out, help you, anything.
We're going to sample one of the newest systems in the Hatfield-McCoy network called Braveheart. To get there, you simply ride into the back of the Appalachian Outpost. You get on a trail that's actually part of the Rockhouse Trails for a very short distance, and then you cut off onto the Braveheart Trails. And they're, as I said, brand new, but there's lots going on these trails. When you're riding onto the Braveheart Trails and you're on the Rockhouse section for a very short time, there's actually a cool thing that I think everybody has to do when they're out here riding. Even if you're not staying at the Appalachian Outpost, you got to go do this, and that's sampling some of the Almost Heaven swings. The last time I was at Hatfield-McCoy with my buddy Tanner for his bachelor party, we actually found one of these swings and we took a bunch of pictures on it, so I know what they look like. The one on this Rockhouse Trail, though, was probably the most beautiful one of all. The scenery is always good when you're on these swings, but this one swung right out over the edge of a cliff, and it was like you could see as far as you could. It was just amazing. It was a really cool spot. We all sat down, we had some fun, we took some silly pictures on the swings because we're grown men.
Onyx maps are great. I mean, the maps Hatfield provides for you are useful, but these maps are amazing. Well, they work with Onyx too. And they work with Onyx, but these are like so detailed.
So I'm playing Passenger Princess today, started out the day, which I don't usually mind. I don't mind actually because I'm riding with AJ. That's totally fine. I'll probably drive later on and scare the crap out of him, and then I won't be allowed to drive for the rest of the day. But so far, so good. Trails are awesome.
Now, the trails on the Braveheart system are, I don't want to make this sound like not impressive, but they're like all the trails on every Hatfield-McCoy trail system. They're amazing. They're exceptionally well maintained. I mean, they are new, so they're in great shape. Just like all Hatfield-McCoy trails, they're wide. There's obviously some great scenery. Everywhere you go in West Virginia, you're going to get great scenery, especially on Hatfield-McCoy trails.
So the Braveheart Trail System connects to Rockhouse Trail System, which is connected to the Devil Anse and Buffalo Mountain Trail System. It was important for us to have all four of those connected. It just gives people more mileage to go out and ride, newer sites to go see.
Hatfield-McCoy Trails, we were created to generate economic development and growth for the small communities that we're in. So it's been exciting to see the growth in these small towns over the years. You know, we'll go in and put it in a trail system, and there may not be any lodging, there may not be any restaurants, any other amenities. But after, you know, a year, 2 years, and you come back to that area, you really see the growth. You know, we have more and more lodging facilities popping up, more restaurants, museums, other types of businesses, and you know that's why we do what we do. We love making fun trail systems for folks to enjoy, but we really like seeing the growth in the communities that we're in.
The day was really, really hot. It was like 95 degrees and crazy humid, so as long as we kept moving, we stayed cool. It was really nice riding in the treed sections of the trails that had a lot of coverage. It was very cool. One thing about Hatfield-McCoy that's really interesting is when you're riding along the shelves on the trails, it's like, because you're so close to the wall of dirt, I guess, cool air kind of radiates off it, so it's very pleasant riding even when it's really hot out. We had a great ride on the Braveheart trails. We put on a bunch of miles, sampled all different levels from blue to greens to blacks, tried all the different options that were there. This is like the best location to ride. I mean, you have 300 miles of the world's best trails at your fingertips, and you can ride right from the Appalachian Outpost and never touch your car. I can't think of a better sort of riding opportunity than this.
Yeah, the trails today were just absolutely amazing. I mean, it's Hatfield-McCoy and they call it Trails Heaven for a reason. I think today the most amazing thing that stood out to me is how well maintained the trails are. Everywhere we went, you could see evidence of them having maintained the trails recently, and that was everywhere. So these guys are not messing around. When you come here, you can expect the absolute best trail riding experience you're going to have anywhere in the world. But of course, a place like Appalachian Outpost like this, to be able to come back at the end of the day, fill up with gas right beside your cabin, just doesn't get any better than this. Of course, the company doesn't hurt either, and having AJ, Matt, and Mike with me, it was a lot of fun today. It was a really good time.
At the end of our ride day, we rolled back into the Appalachian Outpost and thought to ourselves, we have earned a tasty beverage. So we headed over to the on-site cafe, the Redbird Cafe, and let me tell you, this was a completely unexpected experience. The drinks that they serve in there are better than any coffee shop I've ever been to anywhere else in the world. The barista, the lady working there, was absolutely the most professional barista I've ever experienced. The drinks were amazing. We all joked about, like, we'll probably just come back here every about hour to keep ourselves cooled, having cold drinks or hot drinks in the morning, whatever you want, but she could make you anything. It was really nice to cool off that way. I had an iced beverage and it was phenomenal. I needed it so bad after a long day in the heat. But of course, as Lesters, and all four of us are Lesters, we're cousins, no Lester's Day is over without consuming some form of cooked meat. And on site is the Broken Axle restaurant. If you want to sample down south southern food, this is the place to go. Honestly, the vibe is awesome. You know, the food there was phenomenal. There's a lot of things cooked in oils, which are always good and taste great. This place was like top notch. If you're on site, don't even bother leaving to go to other restaurants. Just go to the Broken Axle. You won't be disappointed.
This portion of Dirt Trax TV has been brought to you by Suzuki. It's not a quad unless it's a King Quad.
So our day 2 ride was going to take us to a brand new trail system on the Hatfield-McCoy network. It's called Big Coal River. But before we got out, we obviously had to fuel our bodies, of course. And one of the great things about the Appalachian Outpost is that the cabins are all 3 bedrooms, but they have like full kitchens and they're fully stocked with pots and pans and utensils and everything you could possibly need, coffee makers. So instead of going to a restaurant for breakfast the way we normally would, we bought all of our breakfast supplies right at the little variety store on site, and we made ourselves eggs and bacon and toast, and we all ate together. So I know I've talked a lot about how great backcountry rentals are and how great Amber is, but this next part is just a highlight of why her business is so incredible. She will actually deliver your side-by-sides to whatever trailhead you want. So we arrived in a rental car. We don't have a trailer, but we wanted to ride the newest trail system in the Hatfield-McCoy network called Big Coal River, and it's about an hour from the Appalachian Outpost. Amber was more than happy to deliver our side-by-sides right to the trailhead at Big Coal River.
That ain't going anywhere.
Day 2, passenger princess once again. I just need my hoodie. I need my my onesie and my oversized water bottle.
Stanley water bottle.
Yep, maybe some snacks. And I'm gonna have a little nap while AJ drives me around. Be great.
You, Mike,
Yes,
anybody give you your fish crackers yet? All the cranberries.
My fishy crackers and my little juice box of apple juice.
I don't want to be cleaning cranberries and fishy crackers out of your seat when we're done today, boy. This may be only the 2-seat car, but this is car number 1 in your hearts.
Always.
And Amber pulled in with her trailer, unloaded our side-by-sides, and we were ready to rip. So there's one landmark on the Big Coal River trails that you really do need to get to and check out because it's a really cool spot. And it's this old, I don't know, smokestack? I don't know what to call it, up into the air. It's really big. It's from back in the days when they were mining in the areas. They were processing something here. There were more buildings, but all that was left is this one smokestack. But we saw it when we were riding there last year, and I wanted to take the guys to it as well. The great part about that is it was on the complete opposite side of the trail system, so we had to ride all the trails to get there. Man, let me tell you, Big Coal River is now my favorite Hatfield-McCoy trail system. The trails are wide, they're fast, be responsible, but they're fast. They've got tons of elevation changes, hills and valleys. There's lots of stuff to look at. It was just a ton of fun. The work that Hatfield-McCoy has done on these trails, Derek was the one who is responsible for a lot of this, is absolutely mind-blowing, and it is phenomenal. I have to give huge credit to these guys. When they set out to build a new trail, they build world's best trails. Trails Heaven is a perfectly reasonable description for this place.
DirtTraxtv has been sponsored by Yamaha, revs your heart. Honda, life is better on a Honda. ITP, innovation, traction, performance. Fast HD, roam fearlessly. Kawasaki, let the good times roll.
One of the things that I find really cool about Big Coal River is there are a number of trails that are built right on the razorback of like a mountain range. So the trail is not a lot wider than your side-by-side, and it drops both sides. You're riding right along the top. It's a really weird feeling, but there's a number of trails that do that there. It was really, really cool. Again, we got right up to the top of a mountain. We were right at the very pinnacle of the mountain, which was really cool. And the trails getting there were phenomenal, fast, fun. Not a lot of, I would say, super challenging trails on Big Coal River. The trails are much more accessible to a wider range of people. So if you're looking for easy trails to just ride on and put a lot of miles on, this is a great choice. Keeping in mind that it isn't near any towns, so you need to take all your stuff with you when you go to Big Coal. Don't expect to be able to ride into town and get a sandwich, because there really isn't that opportunity. But the trails are well worth the hour drive. 100% I would go back there. Now, when our ride day on Big Coal was done, there was one place we needed to visit before this whole trip came to an end. And I talked about the swing that we rode on day one. Well, right outside the Big Coal River trailhead is another one of these West Virginia swings. This one is actually right down at a river overlooking a waterfall. It was, I mean, the ones I've been to have all been on the top of a mountain. This one couldn't have been more the opposite, but it was so beautiful. It was like this little oasis right off the side of the road. And there were some people swimming there when we showed up. Double waterfall, you know, that had thin water in it. So we actually got right out and walked out on the rocks above the waterfall. I was gonna jump, but realized I had my phone in my pocket. And then AJ was gonna jump, but said he had his wallet in his pocket. So we didn't jump. But really, I think we were both just too chicken. But it was a beautiful spot and a great way to end a trip like this.
So that's a completed trip. Partners got together, had some fun, rode 2 new trail systems, Big Coal and Braveheart.
It was a really good conference that we had. We've had a good conference.
It was a good conference.
Yeah. Couldn't have picked a better place to do it.
You know what? Honestly, Braveheart was a lot of fun. I actually thought that Big Coal River was one of the most enjoyable trail systems
That
I've
might
ridden
actually
here.
be my new favorite of all of them.
And everybody's like, oh, it's so easy, you know, it's for, I'm like, this was fun, it was fast, it was really enjoyable, and the scenery was just as good as anywhere else. It's a little off the beaten path, but it's worth coming to.
We did see some cool stuff.
Yep.
There's a lot of heritage out here that you can get used to and just check out. So
very cool.
Definitely worthwhile.
Well, we'll have to do it again.
Absolutely.
One thing about Hatfield-McCoy that I come back to over and over is just how beautiful it is there. The scenery, the landscape, just everything there is absolutely beautiful. And this was just another great example of how it's not just the views from the top of a mountain, but you can be right down in the riverbeds and it's just as beautiful as it is everywhere else. So a great spot to kind of wrap the trip up, really.
to subscribe and comment below for real interaction with the Dirt Trax crew.